Hi guys, welcome back to Python based data science series. In today's session, we'll be discussing about static data in a class. Class or static variables are shared by all objects. It means instances or non-static members are different for different objects. Every object have a copy of it. To understand this, let us discuss one example. If there are three brothers belong to one family and they all having a common bank account. Common bank account means it's an account of a family, not of an individual one. And if these all guys are working and they are having their own individual account, then common account which is shared among all called as static, which belongs to family, not an individual one. An individual account which is personal to each and every individual, that is non-static. For example, let a computer science student be represented by class CSS students. The class may have a static variable whose value is CSE for all objects. As all the students belongs to CSE branch or CSE stream, for every object the value of stream will be CSE. And class may have non-static members like name and roll number. All individual students having different name and roll number. So this property will be termed as non-static property, and all individual students having a common stream as they belong to a class of CSE students, so that is static. In C++ and Java, we have to use a keyword called as static to define static property. In Python, the variables which don't have proceeding static keywords are instance variables. But in case of Python, there is no static keyword. We have to declare it as a class type of data. Python approach is simple. It doesn't require a static keyword. All variables which are assigned a value in class declarations are class variables, and variables which are assigned values inside methods are instance variables. Properties which belongs to object in Python will be referred by self-reference, and the properties which belongs to class are not referred by self-reference, so hence it is static. Let us discuss this by examples. Here I am defining a class CSS student, and I am defining a class type of data, that is stream. Stream equals to CSE. Now, this stream data is not belong to any method, and it won't be referred by self also. So it's a class type of data, and hence it is a static data because its property will be shared among all the objects as a common one. Then there is a parameterized constructor. Whenever an instance will be developed, every instance have respective name and roll number. So by that, their properties will be initialized. Here I am creating an object by A equals to CSS students. His name is Amit and roll number is 100. So its property will be initialized as a Amit and 100, and I'm creating another instance by the name B and having name Manish and roll number 200. Now A and B, these two individual objects of CSA students having non-static property of name and roll number and a static property called as stream as CSA. If you try to print A dot stream, it will print CSA. If you try to print B dot stream, it also prints CSA. Means stream data is shared commonly among these all individual objects, and these all objects having their individual copy. If you refer A dot name, it will print Amin. If you print B dot name, it will print Manish. It will print A dot roll number 100 and B dot roll number 100. If you want to refer the static data, then it has to be referred by class name. So CSA student dot stream, it will print CSA. We understand one point, that the data which is commonly shared among all the objects is called as static data, and the data which is individual among all the objects, which is individual to all objects, that is non-static data. Non-static data need to be defined in a class. It's a class type of data. To understand this, let's discuss one other example. First of all, let us try the execution of this code. Here it is. A dot stream CSE, B dot stream CSE, A and B having individual names and roll numbers, and when we refer by class name dot stream, it will print CSE. As all the students belongs to CSS students, they all having the common stream of CSE, and the rest are non-static individual properties. Let us discuss about the static data in case of bank class reference. I am constructing a class called as bank. Now bank having various depositors, and every depositors having its own individual properties like their depositor name, account number, and the amount balance or balance amount. Now this balance amount of depositor will be individual enough, but these all the depositors are instances of bank. So the transaction done by the depositors will reflect to the bank balance. Let us understand, 3 depositors created an account in a bank. They all having their individual name, account number, and the amount balance. They can perform their own withdraw and deposit operation in their individual accounts, but these all transactions will reflect to the bank balance. So BBAL, bank balance, is a static data, and depositor name, account number, amount, that will be the non-static. So BBAL equals to 0. Initially the bank balance is 0. Need to understand, bank balance variable refers to the complete transactions of all the depositors. Here is the constructor: depositor name, account number, and amount balance. Whenever we create an instance of a bank depositor, this data will be initialized. Display method will display the details of a depositor. Name, account number, and amount balance will be displayed. There is a deposit method which is useful for user to deposit the amount in its account. So while constructing an object, the initial bank balance is 0, but whenever an instance of depositor will be created and we get the depositor name, account number and amount, that amount is going to add into the bank balance. So bank dot individual non-static data will be referred by self, it's object reference, but static data will be referred by bank.bbal plus equal to self.amount. Every depositor amount will be going to accumulate in the bank balance. In case of deposit, when every individual depositor deposits the amount, it updates its own amount balance. At the same time, it updates to bank balance as well. In a withdraw, if you try to withdraw the amount more than its bank balance, then it will say insufficient balance. Otherwise, if the amount he wants to withdraw is less than the amount bank balance, then he can able to withdraw the amount from its bank balance, and the bank balance, total bank balance, also going to be updated. We define here to refer to the cumulative bank balance, we should have a static method. Now, non-static methods will have a self as an argument because object is going to refer it. The methods which don't have a self argument and which is going to process the class type of data need to be referred as a static. Here bank balance is a static method which will refer to the current bank balance, cumulative bank balance. In main, firstly we give a call to the bank balance, bank.bank balance. Bank is a class name, so it will print 0. Initially the bank balance is 0. Whenever we create an instance D1 is a depositor of a bank class having name ABC, 100 as a account number and 5,000 amount he deposited. So D1 become an instance of bank with the properties ABC, 100 and 5,000, and this 5,000 is going to accumulate in the bank balance. Then D2 having individual properties PQR 200, 10,000, D3 having individual properties LMN 300 is a account number and 8,000, but it accumulates to the bank balance and hence become 5,000 plus 10,000, 15,000 plus 8,000, 23,000. So cumulative bank balance is 23,000 and individual depositors having bank balance respectively 5,000, 10,000 and 8,000. If now we display D1.display, it will print ABC 100, 5,000, D2.display PQR 200, 10,000, D3.display LMN 300, 8,000, but when we refer now the bank balance, it will be referred 23,000, which is accumulation of all individual bank depositors. Then D1 perform the transactions and adds 3,000. So D1's account will be going to update by 5,000 to 8,000. But at the same time, the bank balance also going to update by 23,000 to 26,000. Now D2 is going to withdraw 4,000. So his amount balance will be updated to 6,000 from 10,000. At the same time, the 4,000 will be reduced from overall bank balance as well. So whenever we D2.display, it will print 6,000, and whenever we print bank balance, 26,000 minus 4,000, that is 22,000 will be there. Now D3 deposits 6,000, again the same, its individual account will be updated to 14,000, and this amount is going to add to the bank balance as well. Let us go for the execution. Here it is. The initial bank balance is 0. 3 depositors are generated with their respective amount of 5,000, 10,000 and 8,000. So the bank balance will be 23,000. When amount deposits amount 3,000, its accounts will be updated by 3,000, 5,000 to 8,000, but the bank balance will update to 26,000. Now just need to understand that this bank balance is a static data, belongs to class. So each and every individual depositor's transactions will be going to reflect to the bank balance. Now D2 objects withdraw 4,000, so his amount will be reflected 10,000 to 6,000, but cumulative amount also get withdraw to 22,000. So 4,000 going to reduce from the bank balance as well. When D3 deposits 6,000, his account get updated to 14,000, but the cumulative bank balance also going to be updated by 6,000 and it become 28,000. We are discussing static data. All objects are going to share a common copy, and all objects having an individual, that is called as static, and all objects having an individual copy, that is called as non-static. Now here in this case, we created individual list of objects. Now we need to discuss, can we have an array of objects as well? Let's discuss by example. Here is the demonstration of array of objects. In the previous example of bank, we created only 3 individual objects, but we may need to create n number of objects. So instead of initializing that objects individually, can we make an array of them? The answer is yes, we can. Here class bank having the non-static data, name, account number and amount balance, and display to display the properties belong to them. Now here I am trying to create an array of and list of objects. So you declare list like this. So it's a collection, it's a blank a declaration of list, and then list dot append bank. Okay, you create the instance of bank. The constructor will be called Amit 100 5,000, Dipendra 200 8,000, Sangeeta 300 10,000. So these all individual objects. We are not creating instance now, we are adding into the list. So in this manner we can form an array list. Here we can set the loop for object in list. Now list become an array. Object dot display means instead of giving individual name to an object, we can add that all the objects in a list, and we can refer to them individually by setting a loop as well. Right now we have only 3 depositors, but what will happen if the number of depositors extends to 1,000 and 10,000? So in such situations we need to go with a array of objects. So we manage the list, and then we can set up the loop for object in list. Object dot display will print. Now this object is going to refer list 0, list 1, list 2 respectively, and display that all objects, individual objects, properties will be displayed. We can refer as a list 0 where if you want to refer the individual's properties as well. Let's go for execution. Here it is, depositors obj.display. This obj is now referring to the list, and list is referring to the all cumulative list of objects. So in this manner we can even manage, you can even form an array of objects. I hope the concept of static, non-static, and array of objects is clear to you. Thank you. See you soon.